Because there have been some pediatricians that are telling my patients, do not take your baby to a chiropractor. That's dangerous.
Let me tell you something. Cardi B is not wearing Fashion Nova on the red carpet.
That's not as bad as I thought, actually.
Who's responsible for paying for this?
$3,756 per year. I spend so much time talking to my clients about the importance of proper nutrition outside of the gym. And the number one area of struggle is not getting enough protein. So Boss and Kevin developed Vita Hustle One superfoods for this very reason. This plant-based blend contains 86 superfood ingredients that support muscle recovery and overall well-being. It's not just about what you do in the gym, it's also about how you fuel your body. So try Vita Hustle One superfood in vanilla bean, dark cocoa, which is my fave, or superfood greens in the popular berry flavor. Use code MEAGAIN for 15% off your first order.
Hey everybody, it is me again, your girl Dominique, and I am here with Nature.
Oh, I thought you were going to have me introduce myself this time. I was about to say, this is different, Dom. Could you pause for a second?
I am here with
Nature.
We are back with another episode of Me Again. What's going on, girl? How you doing?
I'm exhausted. I kudos to you with these 3, with the baby, because my son has waken up for the past 3 nights, and every night's getting a little earlier. And he coming in my bed, he's rolling around, he's trying to put himself back to sleep, he's coughing, it's just a lot.
Dang, is he sick?
I don't know. With the weather change, I think, like, he's super stuffy, and his eyes were runny, and he has like I guess because the postnasal drip, he's coughing.
Nighttime.
So I put an air purifier in his room, and I think that did amazing. I think that did justice. But for the past few nights, I don't know if he's growing. I don't know. He don't need to grow, but
He's
I don't
probably
know
having a growth spurt, girl. But that humidifier works wonders. Do the humidifier and just, I got the holistic remedies for you.
Oh, I got the humidifier and the air purifier. I got both.
There's this pellet called Drosera, which you just put in their water, like just dissolve it. He might be old enough just to let it sit underneath the tongue, though. But it's like for dry cough at night, and it helps a lot. So I'll send it to you.
Well, send that to me. What is it made of? What is it made of?
It's just those pellets, those holistic pellets, like the white ones. Yeah,
like
girl, that's what I use for everything.
Like the
cold calm stuff.
I forget the brand.
I'll send it to you. It works really well. But
how are you?
I'm good, girl. I'm just hanging in there, doing my thing. I had a nice weekend. What did I do this weekend?
You went outside.
Wait, where was I?
Were you outside?
Oh, I went to...
You were outside.
I took a 24-hour trip to Vegas this weekend. My girls were like, all right, y'all want to go out? 24-hour trip. Straight up. 24 hours. Drank it up. We stayed at the Wynn. Had a great time. Went to bed by 1 o'clock.
I love that.
Yes, went to bed, got a good solid 7 hours, and then came right back. It was so much fun. We had a blast.
See? That's what you need.
Oh, yeah.
A little reset.
What? But I will have to say, I saw some footage of you enjoying your weekend. Last weekend, I think it was.
Oh, at the wedding?
Mm-hmm. Can the peanut gallery pull this footage up, please?
Oh, now y'all are really playing with me. Okay.
Okay, come on, Stan.
I had to do my Cotton Eye Joe, you know?
Let's see Woo!
It's the Caucasian side of me. I'm not Irish, but I am Scottish and Italian.
Look at Nature. So, was it sunny outside, girl? What was going on?
Listen, it was a mood all night.
You had your stunner shades on.
I had my stunner shades on. I was relaxing. I was baby free.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so my question is though, did you get dressed? Did you put makeup on?
No.
You didn't put makeup on after that wedding?
No. And you know what? Now that you said that, I came across this TikTok video, and I felt super pointed at, and I felt definitely. What's that word? I can't even think of that word. Attacked. That's not the word I was looking for. But anywho, basically, the woman was saying, grow up. You're going outside to an event, anywhere, you're a woman, put some makeup on, grow up. And I don't do that. So for me, then I started thinking is that, this is society.
Right.
This is a society saying, you have to look a certain way or move a certain, because I could get dressed up, and I looked great. I didn't necessarily felt, I got my little lip gloss or chapstick or whatever, and I'm cool. But it's like society tells you, like, you have to look a certain way, and that goes back into, like, the woman feeling obligated to be a certain way or do things just because they're doing things out of what they truly want to do. I'm not doing that.
Okay, so hold on. So then let's ask the second question. How does your man feel about it? Does he think like, oh, baby, you could put a little bit of makeup on, a little bit of blush?
You know, I think he is very comfortable with who I am. I think that his stance also, he appreciates natural.
Okay.
He appreciates natural, like just like your beautifulest form in a sense, right? So I feel like I didn't feel pressure to ever have to put makeup on or, go above and beyond. I'll get my nails done and, little things like that.
Okay, so then I have like an experiment.
Oh, shit.
Before you go out on your hot date to hit these LA streets, which we still have to think about where your date is going to be with him, you're going to come over here. I'm going to do your makeup, doll you up, but I'm going to keep it on a light beat.
Yeah,
okay?
subtle.
Subtle, but it's going to be a change. And then go and be like, all right, babe, I'm ready. And I want to know what his
I'm going to record it.
Yes.
And I'm going to send it to you.
Please.
I'll show you.
That is a great,
He
that would
probably
be
will
fun.
be like, what the fuck?
Okay, you think he would be like, what the F? Or would he be like,
I don't know.
Damn.
I'm not sure. Because, he talked that hot. But then again, I don't know. Because he talks like the hot shit. Like,
Right.
I like natural. Like, I don't like the weave. I don't like the makeup. But is it because I'm like that?
Yeah.
Like, if I started wearing makeup, would you say, like, oh, I do like it on you. I like the subtle. All right, we'll try it. But that don't mean I'm changing, y'all. I like to just be.
I'm going to turn you out, girl.
I like to be, y'all.
You'll never leave the house without brows, I'm telling you. But you don't really need it. You have great brows,
Thanks.
great lashes, bunch of hair.
Yeah, that's what I feel like.
Don't need
here, that's it. It's my favorite part.
You are hilarious. Okay, wait. So talking about it, what is your what would you consider your personal maintenance throughout the month? What do you budget for? ETC, etc.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't necessarily have like this is the amount I'm gonna spend on like beauty or like upkeep or whatever I'm like need. I just will replenish, but I'm pretty simple.
Okay.
My eyebrows are a big thing, but a lot of times I kind of like wait too long and then
Do you get them threaded?
and if anybody has any recommendations for me, please let me know because every time I'm getting my eyebrows threaded, I feel like I'm gonna throw up the entire time.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
So-
threading is good.
Yeah, it lasts long. So I do threading. The stash got to go too. So I
Threading
wax
the
that.
stash?
Oh no, I wax
Okay.
that. I will never sit for that.
Okay.
Tripping for that.
Nails? You always have your nails done?
No, I don't.
You don't? So do you get them
I kinda
done
like-
monthly?
No, I'll get them done here and there. I know. I'll just I'll do like the basics.
What about your hair?
That's something I upkeep with. Right now it's in a bun, but lately I've been getting it done.
Okay.
I'll have like my girl come and she'll do my hair I'll say I'll get it done every 3 to 5 weeks maybe.
Okay. We are complete opposites.
I know. It's great. I love that though.
I am full-fledged, and this has been me ever since basically I stopped playing basketball. But even when I did play basketball, girl, let me tell you, my mascara game with that pink and green mascara.
green
Yeah, what's the
crazy.
brand on the pink and green? Is it-
Oh, you mean the brand? I'm thinking you mean like colors. I'm about to say
No, girl,
Dominique.
that pink and green bottle of mascara.
I know what you're
still
talking
use it to
about.
this
I
day.
think my sisters use
Your
it.
girl used to have that for the games. Games were the mascara was on point for the games. I used to have my hair slicked back. I had the
Oh,
best
yeah.
slick back.
Oh,
What is it
yeah.
called? Maybelline, pink and green, black is black, mascara, great lash. Yes,
Maybelline.
it is great lash. But anyway, so I still, same thing. I do have my lashes every day. I mean, extensions. So that's every 3 weeks. Then I have microblading brows, so I don't have to do my brows. And I have thinner hair, so I kind of just pluck if something comes out of line.
Oh.
But I got my brows microbladed, which is the best thing I could have ever done in my life. I'm not blessed like you don't have thick hair, so I was like,
You have to
perfect.
figure it out.
Then
Oh.
I have I get my nails done every 2 weeks, nails and pedicure every 2 weeks. So I'm actually pretty simple in that regards. But I recently did just take on getting my hair done. Unfortunately, it's not the best right now, but I went, because my mom used to do my hair. And she still does, but I just was like, you know what, I want to go to a salon. I want to get pampered. So I got my hair colored and cut.
Oh, nice.
And it was a nice experience. She was offering me tea and things like that. I was like, this is great. I was just sitting in the salon, hanging out, girl chat. It was wonderful. Then, what else? There's the hair. What else do people get done? Nope. Oh, I have, okay. Okay. Okay, so there's the hair. And then, another expense that I did take on and I am done with is laser hair removal.
I want to actually
Period.
try laser hair removal.
If you're still waxing or any of that, you're old school and you're out of there.
Well, let me tell you something.
You got to get the whole thing going.
I'm waxing.
Brazilian.
I did that by myself.
No, girl, go get that laser.
Now I go and get it waxed, but I used to do it by myself.
No.
I want to try laser, though, because I hear great things about it.
It's the best thing you'll ever do. You don't have to shave. You don't have to go get waxed. You don't have to perform your own Brazilian.
Yeah, that was wild. It was a wild time.
Sugaring, people doing sugaring. No. Go get lasered, get your 10 treatments in, and be done for life.
All right. I want to, I already looked into it. I want to do it. I'm going to do it. I'll let you, New Year.
And then another thing is, which is why I want to have Kolleen come in and discuss with us, is I do get chiropractor work like now I'm doing once a month, but when I was pregnant, I was doing it every single week for maintenance. Like that was a part of my...
That's crazy because I feel like I was scared of the chiropractor. Like I didn't get touched by a chiropractor until I started working at Just Train. Like
Fleming?
Never in my life. Fleming. I don't know if it was Dr. Fleming or Dr. E. I'm not sure which one adjusted me first, but they've both adjusted me. But I've never, and I feel like I'm a lot like the mass majority. A mass majority of people have never seen a chiropractor and don't think about it because the idea of a crack, and every time they do it, it's like,
you're nervous.
But then I get up and I'm like, okay, wait, maybe I feel a little aligned now. They cracked something back in place.
I used to be the same. I used to be scared of the chiropractor as well, but truthfully, I just realized that there's so many different ways to like heal your body, and I think there's not only one way. I think everyone working together, like you can go to different places, chiropractor. I haven't done acupuncture, but even just like regular body work, you know what I mean, stretching, all of it all kind of works together. You know what I'm saying? Instead of a one-size-fits-all thing.
1,000%.
And I enjoy it. I love it. It was like, truthfully, what really got me into it was when I was pregnant. I was so desperate for some like body relief that I went, and they're like, yeah, you could do that. My OB said, totally fine. I went, and I'm like, oh my gosh, why didn't I do this before? And it actually helps keep the baby in the right position, like in your pelvic, so that it's a smoother birth and all that good stuff. And so I'm an advocate for it. So I can't wait.
Does your chiropractor do body work as well as the actual
They do like
adjusting?
rehab. So like more of like rehab stuff, but like as far as body work, obviously Boss has other people for that. But so there's like the body work part of it, and then there's also like the massage, right? The topical, which is another person that we should probably have on here. I want to get a lymphatic massage now that I'm done, and like drainage. Yes. So again, it's just like all these people using them all together, I think is top tier.
Dang. Wow.
Okay.
Can I read that one?
Yeah.
Ooh. That's not as bad as I thought, actually. Because I don't know how up to date that is, because hair alone is crazy.
So talk about it.
So the Peanut Gallery pulled up some facts for us. And it says, according to a study, the average woman spends about $313 per month on her appearance. And this adds up to $3,756 per year. Wow. Or $225,000 over the course of her lifetime, or a lifetime. I thought it was going to be a little bit, I think it depends on the month, but that's a lot.
But you
Actually,
know what,
that's a lot.
You want to know what my question now is? And this would be funny for people to hit the hotline, is who's responsible for paying for this? If you're in a relationship, is the man responsible for this? Because oftentimes women are doing this for upkeep, to look be presentable for their husband or partner, whoever. What do you think?
That's a tough one, man. See, for me, I think that they're not obligated.
Right.
They're not obligated to give you anything for your upkeep, just like you don't give them anything up for their upkeep. Now, I do feel like here and there, if they want to give you, hey, here, go get your nails done, and here, I think that's winning points. But I don't think that they're obligated.
Right.
Long story, just long answer short. What about you?
No, I don't think so either. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm doing it regardless, single or in a relationship. It's happening for me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna expect
It's a part
it.
of my upkeep. It's part of who I am, kind of how we discussed earlier. Like, you are the way you are, I am the way I am. We naturally are going to gravitate to certain things that we want to do. Now, I think it depends, right? Like, I remember early on when I was first dating Boss, like, we would be going to red carpet events. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I can't afford to
See, I feel like
get
that's
this
a little
dress
different. Yeah.
or get these shoes. And he would be like, oh babe, go shopping and get this or whatever, whatever you want. So I felt like I looked the part type of thing. And it wasn't like on some insecurity thing, but it was just like, you're fitting in the vibe. You want to look nice. You want to walk down the red carpet. Can I get my hair done? You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Can I go get my makeup done? Which either way I was doing. But he would slide me some cash, right, for that. And I think that that's considerate. You know what I mean? Or your girl was about to be walking down there.
And listen, you are a product of him. He's a product of you. And if he dragged you on the red carpet and you looking like a carpet, so of course, I think that though you didn't expect it in a sense.
Didn't.
Right? So I feel like that's different. That's like really like, we're here, we're together,
but it's
we're
so
figuring
funny
this out.
it's so funny though, because obviously no shade to anybody. Like, I'm down to earth, so I'm gonna still eat at. Remember that list we were talking about? I'm gonna still eat at
every single
Cheesecake Factory or whatever. If we're passing through an IHOP, I'm gonna grab some pancakes real quick, and I'm fine with Zara, all those great stores. But it's funny because he gave me the money at the time, and I was like 21 or 22, and I thought like I'm about to go to BB and get me something really nice. Like, I thought BB was like banging. That was the spot.
She said
so. I went to BB and I remember I got this cute, it still is cute when the pictures are older. It's about the way you wear it, because somebody could have the most expensive thing on in the world and still be looking crazy. So I went to BB and I got this cute little cutout pantsuit, and I just knew it. I said, "Ooh, your girl is killing it." And now that I think back, I'm like, damn, why'd I go to BB? The dress was probably only $100 or something like that. But I thought I was killing the game. But I'm like,
But you probably were.
I mean, I definitely looked cute,
were.
You know what I mean? But I wish I would have gone somewhere else.
So I feel like definitely piggybacking off of where you were saying that you picked up this $100 dress. I feel like that's nowadays. Fashion has kind of rewritten itself in a sense. We're all shopping on Fashion Nova. It's not really that expensive, but I think it's how you, like you said before, like how you wear it. And also I feel like it's the people who are a little bit more up here that are saying like it's okay, it's accepted. Like Cardi B, she kind of partnered with Fashion Nova, and then it kind of took off. Now all influencers, are partnering with Fashion Nova. I think you don't have to get the most expensive things in the room. I feel like if you know how to wear it and it look good, it's clothes. It's cloth.
I agree, but let me tell you something. Cardi B is not wearing Fashion Nova on the red carpet.
Oh yeah, absolutely not. Not the red carpet. The red carpet. We got to go all out. The red carpet. We got to make it be done.
And by the way, I think that's all fine and well. Not to interrupt you, but let me just tell you something. That shit is cheap. It is. It's one thing to be like, oh yeah, everyone's accepting it and it's trendy. I can guarantee you,
Probably wear it a couple times.
especially with the way those bodies are laid out, the proportions, that thread is about to snap, okay?
You know, I can't even say yes or no because I'm not going to lie, I don't own that much Fashion Nova, if
I just
any.
gotta say, quality
But-
clothes. You can
Yeah.
tell the difference.
You can tell, but the thing is, quality clothes also don't have to be that expensive. You can find a place that has pretty quality clothes. You
yeah.
do need to spend a little bit extra on your. I think quality over quantity for sure. Now, I'm not going to drop a crazy amount of money because I feel like everything also is like recycled. Like you go to Lululemon, you can find that exact product without the Lululemon sign somewhere else.
Oh, 100%.
Or like another big place that has quality. So I just feel like you do have to spend a little extra money on your clothes.
right, it's
for
like private
quality.
label.
Yeah.
No, I
But
definitely
not cheap,
agree.
cheap,
But that's,
yeah.
that
That's
is
funny.
hilarious. That is hilarious. I'm just like,
One and done. Yeah, I can't speak on it. I do spend a little bit, like like Aerie, for example. I think Aerie is great quality. They might be like $50 a legging, which some people might not think it's expensive, but it is like it's a pant. It's a
Yeah.
piece of fabric. So, but it's good quality. So I will spend a little extra. I will not go to Forever 21 or H&M and spend $20 on a pair of leggings.
I think that, yeah, it's 100% true, but it's like, as I got older, and the reason why I came to this conclusion is because, you know, I was buying cheaper things and having to buy it more frequently. Whereas when I started buying like good quality stuff, it's not because, oh, she's bougie, she has to drink that, or she has to wear that. It was like, yo, I'm taking care of my things now, and I'll keep something. Literally, I had this dress in my closet from 2017. I said, girl, you need to get that away. Because it still looks good, but I'm like, is it still in style? But so it's one of those things. It's more so of like caring for your stuff, caring, you know, for the way you present yourself, that kind of thing. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
Today we do have an incredible episode about healing the body. We have Dr. Kolleen Gregory coming on. She will be discussing chiropractic work for women, for babies. I found her because she has helped me tremendously with all three of my boys and my journey with breastfeeding and all that good stuff. So I wanted to share this great news with all the ladies watching who may be going through some tough times and figuring out even gas and all these different things. We're going to dive into it, and we can't wait. Okay, so I can't stand using plastic water bottles. Path is the first refillable and 100% recyclable bottled water packaged in a sleek and sturdy aluminum container, which I love. They make it easy for our family to feel good about making a positive impact on the environment, including our kids. Also, their bottles are fully customizable. There's this one particular limited edition Path water bottle featuring the Ninja Turtle characters. My boys absolutely love it. They actually fight over who gets to have it, and it's just a great way to teach them and the next generation the importance of reuse. And you can create your own custom Path water bottle for your next event. I was actually just thinking about it. I wish for all of our 3 gender reveals that we were able to have a team girl or team boy water bottle for the party. Of course, it would have been all team boys. But so visit drinkpathwater.com to check out the coolest designs and to create your own today. Okay, everyone. So today we have a very special guest. She has helped me. She's helped my babies that helped me. And she is just a breath of fresh air. And she's been so lucky, or we've been so lucky to have her come on. Her name is Dr. Kolleen Gregory. She's a chiropractor here in LA area. And we're going to pick her brain and just discuss things about how she's healed the body, how her thought process of self-care and all of that good stuff. So here she is. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here today.
Oh my gosh, we can't wait. So for Nature, she's never met you before. I've told her a lot about you. Can you tell her what you do, what your practice is, and all that good stuff?
Absolutely. So I am a pediatric chiropractor. I mainly work with babies and young children. When I first started, I did work mainly with pregnant women and families. But since the pandemic, I've really tailored my care just to newborns and babies, specifically mostly with breastfeeding issues or like misshapen heads, plagiocephaly, or really tight nervous systems, overstimulated babies. And I've been called like the baby whisperer just because I have a calming effect on babies and also moms too.
I'm ready.
Yeah, thank you. But that's where my passion is, helping babies just from the beginning.
And you and your husband have a practice together.
We do. My husband and I are high school sweethearts. He's been my boyfriend since I was 15, so we're celebrating 30 years in March together, and we've been married a little over 20, and we have 3 children together. My oldest is 26. But we are both chiropractors and share a practice together in Pasadena. He only adjusts pregnant women, well, and some dads too, but mainly pregnant women. That's his focus. And we have like this little dynamic duo that works really well for us.
How is it working with your husband?
It can be crazy, yes. But for the last 20 years, it's been our normal. So during the pandemic, we actually split, and he stayed in the office working, and I started doing home visits. That's when I first met you, just because our kids were Zooming online, and it was just tough. And that was, I think, the hardest part of our marriage is time apart, which is the opposite of so many other relationships, and also a stressful time. But he has his strengths, I have my strengths, and we've kind of divided and conquered. So when something needs to get done, we kind of have our roles, and he'll do what he needs to do, and I'll do what I need to do. And most of the time, it works out great.
I love it. And I just feel like you are just so easy to talk to, be around. You're so, just the feeling that you're having. She's brought in every single time, especially as a new mom after having a baby. It's so refreshing to have you come in, and I tell every single person about you. I'm
Thank
like,
you.
you have to just meet Kolleen. She's so amazing. If you need, and you've made me a believer, seeing how you've adjusted my kids, and you worked on me too.
Yeah.
But just seeing how much knowledge you have, and then really, she puts so much confidence in. It's almost like the baby is like doing all the work, and you're just like helping to guide them.
That's the truth.
And it's just a miraculous effect that you do have.
Thank
so
you.
I just admire you for that, and I'm just so excited for everyone to meet you.
Thank you.
And just pick your brain today. So I know we are going to watch a TikTok quickly so that we can kind of be prompted into some questions.
Fantastic.
Let's see what she's saying.
Happy Tuesday. Just wanted to pop in. So, my hair's kind of crazy. So, my husband and I both scheduled chiropractor appointments for Thursday after work. I don't know, I kind of heard and read some things on maybe getting an adjustment before, maybe that will help. So have you guys heard that about an adjustment before an IUI or trying to conceive? Is that something that any of you have tried or whatnot? I guess worst case scenario, we just get an adjustment. I'm not a huge chiropractor fan, but I'm willing to do anything. So just wondering if you guys have heard of chiropractor before an IUI or chiropractor while trying to conceive. If that's something that you've heard of, if it's something you have tried, I'm willing, any feedback, give it to me. Thanks.
Okay, so I've actually never heard of that before. Is this something you're familiar with, helping
It
women
is.
conceive?
Yes. The uterus actually attaches to the sacrum and the pelvis. So oftentimes you can affect positioning or even ovary positioning when the drop of the egg, just in alignment, to help with conception. Now, it's not a guarantee. Like there's some women who are perfectly aligned and having other issues with fertility, but chiropractic can definitely help directly positionally through anatomy, but also through the nervous system. So there's a big bundle of nerves that break off from the brain, go all the way down to the spinal cord, and at each segment of the body, it supplies a different organ or body system. So the lower you get into the sacral area, those nerves branch off, supply the uterus, the ovaries, and can indirectly definitely help with conception. So chiropractic and acupuncture before a procedure like that has been known to help. And again, it's not a guarantee. But when you're spending that much money and you're trying so hard, you just want to make sure there's nothing that's limiting you in any other way.
That's now you said chiropractor and acupuncture. I haven't done acupuncture yet, but I was discussing about how kind of marrying everything together. What are your suggestions of like if you're going to get chiropractic work to pair it with also?
In terms of conception, trying
No,
to
just
conceive?
in terms. I just thinking in terms of anything overall well-being.
Chiropractic can definitely stand alone. So it helps with regulating the nervous system. So you're affecting parasympathetic and sympathetic, rest and digest, or fight and flight. And then yourself, you're like an amazing athlete and strong woman. So if there is a misalignment, it can actually alter like your squat or your sprint or the way that you run or your gait. So sometimes alignment can benefit just with position as well.
Right. Right.
So you don't necessarily have to pair it with anything, but if you are trying to conceive, acupuncture has great research supporting conception, and a lot of women are getting it done as it's happening. So they'll hire the acupuncture to go in person and actually perform acupuncture during the procedure.
Okay. I haven't tried acupuncture. Have you done acupuncture?
I've never.
Are you scared of
I've never
needles?
done acupuncture, and I was just telling her before you came. I've never, like, I haven't seen a chiropractor until I started working at Just Train,
Wow.
because I feel like, and I feel like it's a mass majority of people who are like nervous of, or just don't know, or they have like
And the
these
cracking,
misconceptions,
yes.
or like of chiropractic work. So, but when I got it done, the sound alone was like, but I got up and I was like, oh wow, like I'm okay. I could feel the difference.
Yeah.
And it just makes sense now. Like it just makes sense.
Absolutely.
But like, what are some misconceptions of like chiropractic work that people you believe that people like have?
I think a lot of it, the misconceptions, especially with babies. I know that there's some videos out there are circulating, like on TikTok and the internet, of babies getting adjusted like adults. So you might hear like a crack, and I don't think that's a good representation of chiropractic for babies. I mainly do craniosacral work, and babies just aren't shaped the way that we are. Their bones are soft. Their vertebrae don't interlock yet. It's not until later that the uncinate processes form. So it's very, very light touch, like maybe touching a ripe tomato. So there's really no twisting or cracking or popping. We tend to allow the babies to unwind themselves. So for example, I'll hold the head and the sacrum, a basic craniosacral hold. And a lot of times you'll just see the babies moving and unwinding any tension that they had from the birth or the womb. So when you do that really early, it's easy. Some other misconceptions might be if you get adjusted once, you have to get adjusted for the rest of your life.
I've heard that
Yeah.
before.
Interesting one.
And my husband and I both have the same philosophy. If you're exercising, you're eating right, you're sleeping well, and like your family, right? You're training hard, you're very aware of your body, you're less likely to need chiropractic care if your nervous system's balanced, right? And then sometimes during pregnancy, your gait changes a little bit, or you might feel like a little pull in your knee or your hip, and then you got to recorrect or strengthen weak areas to resupport that new body. But I would definitely say that's a myth. But my husband and I are pretty conservative as far as visits go.
Yeah.
We're not like a 3 times a week, every week for the rest of your life type of practice.
Okay, yeah.
I kind of like feel it when you need it, in a sense.
Yeah. And bodies like your guys's will know when you need it.
Right. You
Right?
being more in tune with your body. and
Exactly.
just
I can
answering for it.
definitely, when I tell you, we'll probably have to, I think I may have videos still. I do have
Okay.
videos. I'll have to pull them up of you adjusting the kids.
I would love to see it.
It is like the most peaceful experience, baby whisperer type of experience.
you.
It's like, I'm thinking, is she really adjusting? Because like she does, she's holding the baby, and then next thing you know, you see the baby, he's just like doing his thing, and oh, that's better. And then it's just like she's just almost guiding them in a way.
Yeah.
And I am such a believer. I want all my mom's friends to do this. And so I do want to just talk to you about kind of like the journey that I went through, and because it's helping not only the mom, right, but also helping the baby. And so like, what is it, when did you get into helping babies with the breastfeeding and the latch and all of that good stuff? Can you just talk
Just
about
from
that?
the beginning. But my husband and I both started with nobody. We had like our aunts and uncles coming in to see us. We were doing like spinal screenings at the Rose Bowl. Our old office is right next to the Rose Bowl. And like just basically like old school. This was before the internet, just sharing who you are. We even like went door to door to introduce
Yeah.
ourselves to the neighborhood. So that was kind of tough. But from the beginning, always the babies. I worked at a birth center when I had my first daughter. I was only 19 years old, and I wanted a natural birth. My husband worked at the mall, and he sold shoes. We were both in college. But if you worked at the birth center, you could get your birth half off. And they worked very closely with a chiropractor here in Sherman, or not too far away, in Sherman Oaks. And she only worked with babies, and all she did was like craniosacral. And one birth, the baby was born not alive, and they were resuscitating, and the chiropractor just went in and did a little like cervical adjustment just to get the pressure off the brainstem, and then the baby gasped, and I was like, oh, that's my future.
Oh my gosh! I
So
have
this
the
was like
chills.
26 years ago. It gave me chills. I could not believe it. It was really scary being like a young pregnant mom and like seeing that. I was like from the doorway kind of just watching the situation. But But it was also real inspiring to know the power of just simply using your hands. And obviously they cleared out the baby, and the baby ended up being fine and is much older now and doing great. But that did inspire me to want to work with babies directly, one-on-one. And my first daughter, I pushed for 3.5 hours. She was in not a great position, vacuum extraction. So she had a hard time nursing. She was colicky. And I think it just allowed me to come from a place of experience and love and just patience, working with other moms too, and giving grace, because you can do everything right, and then things just happen that are beyond your control, like tongue ties or just colic. It's genetic sometimes.
I think having that information is really helpful because, especially as a new mom, first-time mom, when you're going through the whole breastfeeding journey, it's such a challenge.
Yeah.
And you're thinking like, I can't do this much longer. But then when you have someone who is like Dr. Kolleen, and I'm sure there are other different types of holistic sort of specialists out there that say, well, there is an option for you to do it instead of just having to give up. Especially when emotions are heightened and everything. Like, it's so nice to know that, let me try and exhaust some of my options here. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it works. And it is beneficial.
It is.
And I think that's what's really, really cool from my own experience. You helped my breastfeeding journey up until I went to 9 months, which I thought
That's
was
incredible.
great. But you've helped me. And so I'm like, I need to get this out here as far as like, what are options?
Knowledge is power, and it doesn't have to necessarily be somebody like me, a chiropractor. It can be a craniosacral therapist or a fascial therapist. There's baby massage therapists that can do similar work as well too. So if you're like in a smaller area or a smaller town, not a big city, it might be harder to find practitioners. But I think you were really lucky. Just you fell into the right group, considering it was such a difficult time to network and find help and resources.
How important do you think it is to jump on it in the early months when a baby is first born to help adjust or reach out to some of these professionals, especially because we know, like, it's like they can go down a nap and they change within that one
Yes, those anticipatory growths. I always believe the sooner the better. I've had the youngest I've had is the day the baby was born. The dad brought the baby in to have body work and cranial work and an adjustment, and then took the baby back to the mom. So their first baby had a really difficult latch, tongue tie issues, and the mom just was like, I don't want to deal with that. Let's go get the baby adjusted as soon as possible. And when you act earlier, you're really, and it's not just tongue ties, it can be anything. You can affect developmental milestones. So everything from crawling, walking, talking, chewing food, swallowing. So the sooner that you can get your child evaluated, especially if there's some red flags, like excessive fussiness, difficulty using the restroom. So lots of crying, passing gas, or lots of spitting up. Not really sleeping or crying excessively, those are all good reasons to get your baby seen sooner. Because if they're not comfortable in their own body, they're just not going to be able to move and develop as strong as they are. And all of your kids are really comfortable moving in their body. And you can see how easy it is for them to do things like swing the baseball bat. Hand-eye coordination. That's really hard for a lot of kids the same age as your kids. Right? But you got them moving early, comfortable in their body. And not just with us. The way you play with them and the way that you create opportunities for them to move their body are all really great benefits. But definitely within the first 2 years of life would be ideal. After that, the brain volume growth reduces, and it's just harder to teach them things that they could learn to do really easy at a young age, like throwing something, walking, running, balancing on one leg. So in my opinion, the sooner the better. And then you teach your baby how to have a relaxed nervous system, a relaxed body when they're growing, and then they're less likely to have growing pains and tension or asymmetry, like a high shoulder or high hip.
How frequently do you think babies should be adjusted, infants, younger children?
Again, I'm very conservative compared to a lot of other providers and practitioners, but I also teach parents how to work on their babies themselves. So for example, I showed you how to just look for little tension in his face or head, arms and legs. I like to see babies the first year of life maybe 3 or 4 times depending on their developmental milestones. Did they roll over easily? Are they crawling easily? And then if all of those milestones are being hit, I'll check on them when they're walking. But the most I probably see a child is once a season. So once in summer, once in fall, and then again, through the other seasons.
That is so incredible.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Over here, like, I kind of want my son to be adjusted.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So she has a
I have a
3-year-old.
3-year-old.
Oh, okay.
And when you said 2, I'm like, damn, he's out the cusp. But it's not too late.
I know you've been playing with him.
Well, what's so
Yeah.
funny is the last time she came over, Knox and Cade, they woke up and Cade came down. And, you know, Cade is like my wild child right now. And then he was like trying to like stand off and like be wild. And so she's like, let me just try and adjust you. So she's like doing it. And he's like, oh, this is nice. And I'm like, yes, calm and peace. What a thought.
Yeah.
And then he hit the ground running again. But
running's not a bad thing.
right.
Look how fast he's growing.
Yes.
So if you go onto like a cellular level, all of his little cells are humming, just buzzing, creating new human, new body, new tissue. So it's almost like a red flag if kids are too chill and
Right.
too
Yes.
relaxed. So during certain growth spurts in preschool, some toddler, even babies, you know, when they don't sleep and they're like waking up every few, like 20, 30 minutes, same thing, right? Brain's developing and body's growing. So it's
Well,
not
there you
necessarily a
have it.
That's
bad
me.
thing.
That's me right now.
3 last
Past
nights.
3 nights, it's like, why are you up? Go to sleep, please.
So expect a nice
But-
brain leap. He'll be doing math or something when he wakes up tomorrow.
I can't wait.
So going back also to women, right? Because
Yeah.
we're talking about women and wellness. What about menstrual period, PMS? Does chiropractic work help for that as well?
It definitely can, especially if it's something as far as positional, right? Ovaries release hormones. And again, it's not a win-all. I'll refer back to acupuncture just one more time because that does have research supporting it. But just last week, a woman came in and she was like, this is the first period I've had normal in the last 3 months. There was no clots. It was only 5 days. I was still able to run. And I mean, that was not his goal when he was working with her, but that was just a nice bonus side effect of having her body in alignment. And she was adjusted like once every 3 weeks. It wasn't even anything really excessive at all. And that's the only change she did.
I have a question. So, like, what would you tell parents to look for, in a sense, if they like to come see a chiropractor? Like, what would you say? 'Cause if you see this, you know, they could come get adjusted.
Yeah, the most obvious sign would be postural distortions. So is their head really far forward? Is one shoulder really, really high up? Those are early signs that their body's not moving properly. And then on a neurological level, any child that's having a really hard time regulating, not a kid that throws a tantrum, right? Everybody can be overstimulated and tired. But somebody, like a child that has really, really high highs and then really low meltdowns, that would be something that you could look for. So he or she's having a little bit of trouble regulating their emotions. And that wouldn't be just occasionally, like, you know, every now and then when they ate a bunch of sugar or something like that. It would be all the time. You drop them off at school, there's a huge meltdown because they dropped a crayon, something like that. And then the other things would be loss of balance, so falling a lot, not knowing where they are in space, bumping into things. If they're able to like run and it looks good, or if they're running and you can see that they don't have a rhythm, they're not moving smoothly, those would be, I think, the biggest red flags to bring your baby in or your child in. We covered the baby ones. Yeah, I think that would probably be the biggest, most obvious ones where you're like, don't let that go. Go check on it.
Go check on that.
Yeah, because sometimes it can just be a little ankle adjustment, and you adjust their ankle. They rolled it from before. You do a little ankle adjustment, and then everything lines up. But you let it
makes so
go.
much sense.
They throw their foot in a little bit. The knee starts to torque, then the hip, and then they're running with like a little bit of a scoop.
And they're
versus a movement.
growing into that
tight torsion. Yes.
They're growing because their bodies are
And then
growing.
you just start compensating with something else in a way.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So this sounds silly, but I swear it's the best advice. I recommend it for any kid over age 2. My own kids, I'd even do it older, like 9 months, because they were really good at like hanging and pulling their body. But any major falls, once they're okay, you want to invert them, and you want to grab them by their ankles or their thighs, depending on how tall they are and how tall you are. And you're just going to invert them and let them swing. And gravity and their own sense of awareness will have them wiggle and move and traction it out. And most oftentimes, 5 and under, they can align themselves. After age 8, the vertebrae interlock, and then it's a little bit harder. But 5 and under, it's really easy. Like your husband should be hanging the kids all the time upside down just for fun.
He hangs them like this.
That's perfect with the feet.
And I'm always like, oh.
No,
so
it's
now
good.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, and then they're behind him, right? So they're getting like proprioception stimulation to their brain and their body because he's moving and he's big. So they have an advantage. That's a whole different experience. Probably most kids aren't getting.
Oh, I love that. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'll give them the green light then.
Just no whipping of the heads quickly
Right.
with young babies because the brain isn't, or like I would say less than a year. So no fast movements because the brain can actually slam into the
Open.
skull and create a little bit of a concussion.
Right.
So up and down is okay, but no like left and right or throwing.
Yeah. How
But your boys are old enough to
yeah,
like.
they have a great
they-
time, except for Baby Cruz. He'll
He'll
be
get
right
there.
behind. Yeah. What do you feel like? Because this was before, honest. I guess. I don't know. I also probably had a similar idea because doctors don't always recommend chiropractors, right?
Right.
It's kind of
Yes.
like they have their modern medicine technique. Why is that? What do you think that's about?
There's a big feud, I think, going back to maybe the 60s, where the AMA did not like chiropractors. And I think that's where it originated. And I think there's like a lack of understanding, too, about what most of us are doing now. Because there have been some pediatricians that are telling my patients, do not take your baby to a chiropractor. That's dangerous. And then obviously the patient's like, no, it helps so much. She's so nice. You have to see it. And they like show them videos. But I think it stems back from something like that, just not knowing what we're doing and how safe it is. Or like some wild TikTok videos you see where a man's adjusting like an infant and it's not an appropriate adjustment for that size of human and baby. So I think
Wow.
there's a lot of misconception.
Okay, like not trustworthy. That's
Yeah.
interesting. So how about you? How often do you get adjusted? How often do you-
My husband's a chiropractor,
Yeah.
so I get adjusted at least once a week.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
and sometimes more. But working with the babies, like my back gets a little bit tight from all
Okay.
the holding. Every vacation I get adjusted on, I'm like, Richard, come on. He probably gets adjusted maybe once every 3 weeks or so, and I adjust him. Poor guy, I know. He's like, you get treated all the time. Yeah, so the kids get adjusted. I need to get better with the kids because now that they're in like sports and school, they're not coming to the office as much. So I need to pull my table out in the living room and make sure that I work on them.
When you ever feel stressed or you have a physical stressor or a mental stressor, do you get adjusted? When was the last time you had a down day? And like, how do you kind of go about that?
I am definitely going to get adjusted today and probably like every other day, the next few days. But I have a pretty good body with an exception of like a few injuries from like basketball and stuff. So my main thing I think would be like my shoulders and my head. And I will have my husband just traction me. So I think Thursday I was feeling like I might be getting a migraine, but I also have sound sensitivity and we were like in a noisy gymnasium. So I'm like, okay, it's either a headache coming or the noise. And then he adjusted me and it went away. So that was great. I didn't have to take
So
like an
that's like
Advil or
your-
anything.
yeah.
That's usually what I do. But I do see an acupuncturist right now that's helping me a little bit with my hormonal health since I'm getting into the menopause range. And that's been really helpful too.
Okay.
But it's not
So-
too bad. Like it's just a little bit of needle. It doesn't hurt. It's hard for me to stay still though for like a half hour and not move with needles in me.
Yeah.
Because I'm a mover.
Right. So then explain that too, because my mom would probably love to hear.
Yeah.
How does that chiropractic work help with menopause and premenopause and all that good stuff?
It helps the chiropractic will help just regulate the nervous system, or if you're getting like irregular cycles, sometimes adjusting the sacrum or pelvis can create alignment that will balance that out.
Right.
So it's not as effective for menopause, it's more supportive.
Okay.
And then the acupuncturist does meridians
Okay.
work to help balance those hormones, and then I think herbs to detox the extra like estrogen out of your body
Wow.
as you're transitioning, so you don't get like the hot flashes and feel overheated. And then menopause, you tend to get a little bit drier, and then your joints get a little bit stiffer. So chiropractically speaking, it helps just to create mobilization throughout all your joints. And then we do full body. So we're working on shoulders, ankles, wrists, knees, hips, and just really creating mobilization everywhere.
That's also why I love talking to her, because she's so well versed in everything. Like you're talking about herbs, and all that good stuff. Now I'm wondering. I'm thinking I'm having similar hormonal challenges as someone who would be in menopause, like hot flashes and like my body's
because of three
overheating.
back to back, yeah.
What are there any particular herbs that you can just list off on your head? Gardenia.
And that's pretty safe. There's no really like contraindications. You can pick up gardenia herbs and that help, or like in a capsule, or I'm sure you could do like a gardenia tea, but it's harder to make tea right now, I imagine, right? And then remember to drink it. Like just tablets
just
are
sits
easy.
there.
Yeah, so that's a pretty easy herb. And then the acupuncturist will actually create more herbs that are more tailored to what your body needs. So she'll like feel your pulses, and then depending on whether or not your kidney or liver meridian is overstimulated, or so either they're toned, they're overtoned, or undertoned, and they try to create a balance in between.
Wow.
So that's just everything's balanced and toned.
Yeah.
I guess that's a little bit repetitive, but but gardenia is one really easy one that you could just pick up probably like at Sprouts or something, and it'll help remove the excess heat from your body. There's a term for that. I don't remember what it is. I want to say it's yin, but I don't know if that's true.
I
but
always
my
just say I'm
kidney heat,
overheating.
yeah, that's what she's like. Your kidney is like literally overheating, and it's pushing heat out everywhere. So you want to do things to support that. Eliminating coffee, alcohol, things that stimulate the adrenals.
All the favorite things in life.
So I haven't had coffee for like 2 months, but I'm doing okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good to know.
But that was the hardest to break. I was super addicted. It took me like 2 weeks to wean off, and my husband quit in one day. I was like having headaches, like just from the withdrawals. Yeah.
Men, I don't know, they have mental strength.
He's like, I was jealous. I'm like, that's it? He's like, yeah, okay.
He's like, I'm good now. I love it. Okay, so I do want to just leave here with, what are your most important tips, tricks, as far as overall self-care, wellness, coming from a chiropractor, and then anything in general that you just think that are most important things that women could take away, then also women for their babies as well?
I'm going to keep it simple. Breathe. So new moms, breathe. Take a big diaphragmatic breath before you go to breastfeed. And your baby will start to mirror that. These big breaths stimulate the vagus nerve. Vagus nerve is the 10th cranial nerve that breaks off of the brainstem and supplies so many different functions in the body. Most important, it's the autonomic nervous system, so heartbeat, respiration, pooping, digestion, everything. So for a baby, that's huge. That's its whole world, right? Eat, sleep, poop. That's all they're doing. So as a mom, if you can just take that breath before you breastfeed, before you pick up your baby, it'll start to shift both of your nervous systems into the right direction. And that works also for adults, right? So as a parent, I've had a little bit of a hard time managing my self-care, working out. So one thing I try to do is get up early. It's easier this time of year to watch the sunrise, let that light hit my eye. I know I'm not the first person to say that, but that makes a big change for me, getting that morning light into my eye and just taking maybe 30 seconds to 2 minutes to just breathe. So I'll do like 5 sets of breaths with the sun, one for each direction, one element, right, of the earth, and then try to just root and feel the ground, feel the earth underneath my feet. That's one thing I think that will go a long way to set you up for the rest of your day. And I have to say in my 30s, that was a lot harder to do. I was so tired. I was just like getting up and going from one thing to the other. But just if you could do that in the morning, I think it'll really shift your whole day and your whole life. And it just shifts out exponentially improving. And then the other thing is just moving. It doesn't have to be a class. It doesn't have to be like something really extraneous. Just get on the floor and just move around when you can. Because you're not always feeling 100% to do everything. And if you're not feeling your greatest, just move as much as you can. And even 5 minutes a day will make a change until you can get back to where you need to be. And then lastly, baths. Baths. Get some magnesium flakes, get some Epsom salt. I love fresh flowers. I'll go to Whole Foods and just buy like flowers because they're organic and there's no pesticides on it, and just make myself a really frilly, girly bath. And that is really easy to do at home, even if you're just staying up 10 minutes after your kids go to bed. That's something really easy I think that moms can do and feel really taken care of. And it's pretty. It's a great Instagram photo too, right? You get all your salts, a candle, you got these flowers floating around, and it feels really, really nice. And it's not a crazy cleanup.
Yep. I love that. I mean, I absolutely just love that. And it's to your point of the being in your 30s. We've talked about this on this podcast, and Nature's really great with this. She's always like, I just sit there and can I feel my feet? She's very grounded in that.
Yeah.
And she's motivating me to be a little bit more intentional in the morning, because it's so easy to be like, oh my gosh, I just need 10 more minutes of sleep.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm not waking up 10 more minutes before, you know, and
Yeah.
it's like, right, I hit the ground running. As soon as the baby is, I'm like, okay, we're going. But I need a moment to recollect. You know
Yeah,
what I
to
mean?
step
Or
into
grab
yourself.
myself.
Yeah.
I love watching the sunrise.
I love that one. That's a good
Yeah.
one. That's a
Especially
really
because
good
now
one.
the sun is coming
Coming up later.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
even like
I
with the
love that.
deep breaths, that's such breath work is it's hard actually.
It
Like,
really is.
It's hard like physically, but it's so good. It
That's
really,
why sometimes
like,
I just do 5. I'm like, I can do 5.
it brings you like
Yeah.
it calms you. It brings you back. It really does ground you. I think so.
And then I feel like I'm moving the rest of the morning with less urgency.
Mm.
Even though it's the same time, right? Getting the
Patience.
kids to school, getting them ready, like moving, making sure the lunches. Yeah.
Because sometimes you feel like when you wake up, you're waking up with stress already. And
Exactly.
you're like tight and you're feeling like, oh my gosh, my back and this.
That was me this morning.
Yes. It's true. It happens. But I like
Yeah.
that idea.
Yeah.
That is going to be my homework.
Yes.
I'm going to go out, stand on the balcony, do some rest while I watch the
Yeah.
sunrise, and then go in and get the kids.
Yes. Please
I
do
love
it.
that. Oh.
And waking up 10 minutes earlier, you're gonna be tired regardless.
Yeah.
That's what
10
I
minutes
realized.
isn't really doing much.
Yeah.
And it actually probably make you feel a little better too before
Yeah.
they get up, having some time for yourself, just
Yeah.
a little bit, even if
Just
it's
a little
10,
bit.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so
Thank
much.
you for
I
having me.
so appreciate you. You're such a breath of fresh air.
Thank you.
Pun intended.
Oh, perfect.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
I love it. And then, yes, I hope after today you get all of the body work that you need. 'cause,
I am.
Oh my goodness.
Thank
I'm not
you.
sure you're stressed. All right. You guys, we
Thank
got that? Do we
you.
need
That
any
was so
closing?
easy. Yeah. Thank you.
You
Yeah.
are so amazing.
I was a little bit
I'm
nervous.
telling you,
Yeah.
no.
And then I was
No.
like crying in the car and like trying to touch up my makeup a little bit. This is great.
Let me tell you
Thank you.
something.
Thank you. Okay.
No, you are so, I'm telling you, having this podcast is like literally venting therapy, wellness in itself, because you guys really are such an inspiration.
Thank you.
And I love how it's solution based. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like these are things that you can do to just continue, because we're all going
So
through life, but we
educational.
just have
Love
to,
it. I'm learning.
Yeah.
And then there's like education behind it
Yeah.
to back it. Like that's the thing. She comes over, then I'm like, oh my gosh, he's eating, he is swallowing, and he is, doing his thing. So I wish you could see Cruz, he's sleeping, but yeah, you are
you.
just so good.
This was incredible.